Hi everyone, and welcome to the Sagittarius April 2022 mid-month love, health, and wealth reading. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot, a place for you to better connect with and illuminate your own personal spiritual importance, or more simply put, to better find where you fit. So welcome everyone. To all of those of you who are returning, I just want to express my extreme gratitude and appreciation for you continuing to watch these videos and supporting my channel. And for those of you who are new, thank you for watching. So this reading is meant to basically just be a mid-month boost to give you some messages from Spirit to allow you to stay focused and aware of yourself and how authentically you are connecting your unique self with your external life experience. So we're going to start by taking a look at the energy of love. And when I'm talking about love, yes, it can be romantic love. It can also be any place where you are connecting on a really deeply intimate level with somebody else. This could be in a work environment, a coworker, it could be a family or a friend, anywhere where you really are connecting through the energy of love with another. Okay, so Sagittarius, we have Honeymoon. It says, enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. I really like this for you guys. So Sagittarius, this I feel like fits in with your, with who you are as an individual. Sagittarius, you are the spiritual adventurer, so to speak. That really is a part of your sign's I would say kind of calling. And I like that that there's this image here of people kind of going to, it looks like maybe Venice, but you're kind of going out there and enjoying the more blissful romantic side of life. And with honeymoon, now for some of you, if this is pertaining specifically to a romantic partnership, I do get this feeling that this could almost be like that time of reconnecting, of like a second honeymoon kind of phase, where this is getting that opportunity to go out and just enjoy something fun and light. I'm getting that feeling of lightness. But it's not a heavy month around the energy of love for you guys. So we have turn on your heart light. It says reflect on a time when you experienced love. Number 36, breaking down to a number 9. Nines are about the ending of a cycle and really gleaning the lessons learned so that you can carry them forward as you move into the next cycle. So for some of you, again, this could be that you are kind of re-strengthening the bond of a long time relationship, where you're getting a chance to kind of almost like look back with that nostalgic quality, going back to when you first met, kind of rekindling that fire, that romance, and then really allowing yourself to move into this kind of next fresh cycle around the energy of love. And again, if this is not romantic, this could be even in a work environment or in a friendship, where you're reconnecting with somebody on this more fun level. This could be where maybe in the work environment you guys are all maybe going on a work outing or having kind of a spring get together. Or this could be where, if it's with a friend or a family member, this could be where you guys are deciding to go maybe on truly a holiday, or just doing something fun together that kind of reignites and rekindles and reminds you of, well, why? why do I have this deep connection to this person? And with the, reflect on a time when you experienced love, it could be that maybe up to this point, there was maybe some heaviness or some distance, or, we all get to a point where maybe something in our lives changes and our connection to somebody maybe lessens. And then we get to a point where we get to kind of remember why we fell in love with that person, why we were originally in love with where we worked, why we loved maybe going on trips with this friend of ours. And so there's something around that here, really kind of going back into the honeymoon phase, but with somebody or with an experience that you've had from the past. So really kind of going back and through that energy of nostalgia, kind of getting ready to jump into the fresh. There's something about kind of that, like this clearing energy around the energy of love, kind of like leaving. And you know, it's interesting as well, as I'm saying that, I'm looking at the image of the boat here, and there's something around this reminding me of the Six of Swords in the tarot, which is a card of moving on, a card of transcendence, and a card of moving from calmer, or from choppy waters to calmer waters. So there is something about that you guys are kind of entering into a new phase of calmness. Oh, and the Chariot comes out. Beautiful. Chariot is all about movement. It's getting your head and heart in alignment, moving with the Nine of Cups, moving towards a wish. There is a heart fulfillment around a deep-seated wish for you coming up here. And with the Chariot coming in, this is movement towards that. So there is something around kind of almost like kicking up your heels. You have the horses ready to go, and now it's time to move towards it, to move towards this wish for yourself. And beautiful energy. Love it for you guys. So for the second half of this month, it's all about getting ready, leaning into that wish, and getting ready to move on to almost like greener pastures, which I think is wonderful as we move into Taurus season, which, you know, when we think about Taurus season, this is the season where we get to take a look at what we value, who we value, how we value ourselves, and how we see our self-worth. And so there's something about, I think, really understanding as you move into May what you value, what you want for yourself, and really knowing that you can get yourself there with another or in some other type of environment, again, where you're dealing with the energy of love. Okay, so for health, we're looking at your spiritual health here. I am not a medical practitioner, so please don't think that I'm going to tell you if you're going to be sick or need to see the doctor. This is about taking a look at the health of how well you view yourself and how you view yourself in relation to your external environment. And so we're looking here with contract number 6, which is interesting because the number 6 does harness in numerology the energy of love. But with contract, this card itself also embodies the Justice card in the tarot. So there is kind of a feeling of balancing the scales, of blind justice. But with contract, there may be something new coming in for you here. Spiritually. Now, this could be actually the breaking of a spiritual contract where perhaps maybe you had tied yourself to an old relationship or an old way of connecting with others, and it's time now to maybe release that and kind of move freshly into this new cycle that's opening up for you. But I'm going to pull some cards here and we're going to see kind of what comes out for you. Okay, so we have the 6 of Coins. Beautiful. This is kind of actually the lower arcana, so the major arcana. This is the lower version of the Justice card, where the 6 of Coins represents balance. It represents the balance between kind of understanding what we put in will be returned to us. It's also a card of understanding that sometimes we are on one side of the scales where we have to be in a receptive place, or we have to kind of be dependent on another. And at another time in our life, we'll all be on the other side of the scale, where sometimes we have others depending on us and we can give to them. So there's something here around getting to this beautiful place of balance, I think actually kind of feeling like what you've put in is coming back around to you. Now we have 3 additional cards. We have 5 of Swords, we have 7 of Wands, and Ace of Wands. Interesting. Okay, Sagittarius. So the Ace of Wands it's a fresh start with kind of the rekindling of your eternal flame, as it were. So this can be kind of like that aha, inspirational idea. This can even be for some of you where you find out you're pregnant. It's the energy of creation, but it's also the reconnection with your own magic, with your own passion. But with the 5 of Swords and the 7 of Wands, these are 2 cards that are both kind of defensive. They hold a defensive energy. The 5 of Swords is a card where it's about winning at all cost, where we will defend a point or state a point or hold a view or perspective, and we don't care who we have to hurt or walk away from to continue to hold that viewpoint or perspective. With the Seven of Wands, this is also where we are defending something, where we are taking action to defend our own actions. If you notice, he's holding the wand here, so it's almost like he's feeling like this new inspired passion, idea, creation, he has to kind of hold true to that. So there's something around with, we're thinking of contract. It could be, and we're thinking of balance too, with the Six of Coins coming in here and kind of this like settling of things, that things are kind of starting to get to that place where they're starting to level up a little bit. That for some of you, you may feel this kind of rekindling of like the spark within of you reconnecting on maybe a more deep but fun level with a passion within yourself, you know, when you think about spiritual health. And what I would say around this is, you know, with contracts, you may feel bound by a contract that you have, and there's a reason why you're kind of feeling defensive here, because I mean, this could be where maybe all of a sudden you are inspired, you have this great idea in your place of work, but you're bound by certain things that maybe this idea, maybe you're trying to convince people at your work that you have to, you know, that this is a better way to do something, or that you have a new idea or a new inspiration for a project, and you feel like you have to convince everybody. But in reality, you know, it's kind of like, well, you know, maybe that's just not really something that they're into, or maybe you signed a contract with them where you can't maybe act on this business idea because there's a conflict of interest. Or this could be the same thing if you're in a contract, let's say in a marriage contract with somebody, and maybe you have this inspiration where you're like, I want to live in a new location. My passion is actually travel, and I don't want to live in the same place again. And you feel like you have to maybe defend that a little bit. And I would say, to be honest, you know, I would say go for it. You know, having defensive energy isn't always, you know, the best thing, because again, when you're thinking about, you know, winning at all costs, you know, what is that cost? But that's really, I think, what you're being asked to weigh up. The balance here is you are reconnecting to your passion. You are reconnecting on this beautiful place with your uniqueness again. And it's about understanding, I think, weighing up that balance of, you know, maybe you might have to, this might change in following and defending this new passion. This might change, you know, again, where you are on either side. Maybe now you're going to go from the receiving side to the giving side, or the giving side when, you know, you were on the receiving side. So there's something here around maybe that might change the balance a little bit, but understanding ultimately, you know, what you would have to give up to continue to pursue this dream, and to understand the balance in that. So I think really it's about kind of leaning into that when we think about bringing in this, you know, driving your chariot towards a deep wish of yours, a heart's desire, so to speak. I would say kind of lean into it, but understand why you're so defensive, you know, why you want to defend this, and then really take a look at, again, how this is going to change the balance of things, and keeping in mind that yes, this may change things a little bit. Again, this might be like where you've always been the provider, and now you're like, I want to go out and focus on a passion that might take you out of being the provider for a while, or being in that stable place of providing for a small time. And so it's about kind of, again, looking at the contracts around you of, if you know, are in a contract, let's say marriage, and you're the head of the household, this might be that discussion of saying, okay, what can I balance out here, you know, with my partner and in the family dynamic of how are we going to make this work? If I'm going to now be on the receiving side of things, how can we still make sure that we have enough to get by? You know, and with the Six of Pentacles coming in, this is showing you do have enough to get by. It's one pentacle more than the Five of Pentacles, which the Five of Pentacles is a card of kind of lack and a, you know, limiting mindset. The Six of Coins shows that you have enough. You're beyond that now. You have, you know, there's enough on both sides. So, really kind of take a look at what you want to defend, why you want to defend it, and then how you can keep everything kind of in balance. All right. And for your final card here, we're going to pull a card for wealth. And when we're thinking of wealth, yes, this can be financial wealth and physical abundance, but of course this can also be wherever you want to feel wealthy, meaning where do you want to feel that you have a wealth of something more in your life, like a wealth of time or more love in your life. So we're going to see here what Sagittarius needs to know about love. Oh, interesting. We had another sign get the never-ending story. I can't remember who it was, but so the never-ending story, number 37 breaks down to a 10, further breaks down to a 1. So this is kind of that culmination of the ending of a cycle, holding also the beginning of a cycle. So I like that this card holds that quality of you can start the cycle again and do the same thing, or you can break the cycle and move forward out of this cycle. And with the never-ending story, you can see down here there's kind of almost like an hourglass and a heart in there, and it really does speak to kind of this never-ending story around some aspect of heartbreak in your life, or something that you kind of keep playing out. So this could be in a romantic situation where you are kind of playing out heartbreak, whether it's from your parents and you're kind of like mimicking that, or whether it's just a pattern that you have around something in a romantic relationship. This could also be in a work environment where you are playing out, I'm always the martyr. I am the one who has to work harder than everybody else. And then at the end, I don't get the recognition, and then you do it all over again. It's one of those kinds of things where when we're thinking of our wealth sector, sometimes we limit ourselves with how much we can make and what we can do and how happy we are in our, let's say, career or work life, because we're constantly playing out this kind of role of, I might be able to make more if I go out on my own, but I want to be safe and I feel tied to my, family, or I feel tied to other contractual places where I feel like I have to be the one to be the provider, let's say. And so then I just move on to the next job and I get myself into the same place where I'm a martyr again. I overwork myself, I'm in a place I don't love, and yada and so forth. And yet you have this moment now, really what's coming through, you have this ability to break that cycle this month as you move into Taurus. Again, this month as we're moving into Taurus season, this is going to be a heightened season of really focusing on self-worth, self-value. Specifically with some of the eclipses that are coming in that are really going to allow us to have kind of that darkness to see ourselves without the reflection of others around us. And additionally, we have the North Node in Taurus as well for the next, I think, couple years. So there's a lot of pull towards everyone as a collective really kind of leaning into self-worth, self-value, understanding our value out in the world, and understanding how we can utilize that value. So this is a perfect jumping off point for you, Sagittarius, to really get to that place. What cycle do you need to break to really own your self-worth, to see, is it a cycle, is it a pattern of fear? Is it a pattern of sometimes a fear of success even, not just fear of something going wrong? Is it a pattern of not feeling worthy of love? Is it a pattern where you feel like you're not worthy of someone giving to you? It's a really interesting thing how we can block ourselves from wealth, from whether either it's financial abundance or whether it's an abundance of other things that we want in our life. Maybe we want more love, but we don't feel that we're worthy of receiving it from somebody, and that can prevent us. So we kind of just keep going around and around in the cycle. Okay, I'm going to pull some cards here. We're going to see what further clarification of kind of what is this never-ending story. Every time I think of the never-ending story, of course, I think of the movie, the child's movie from the 80s, Never-Ending Story. And I always think of my mom always making the comment of, yeah, it was like the never-ending movie, because she never liked it. She felt it was so boring and long and slow. And ironically enough, me and my husband got a chance to watch it on a plane ride last year. And watching it from the perspective of an adult, I kind of saw it in that way as well. So it was a side note, it's kind of funny. Okay, so we have the Knight of Wands, which is your card, Sagittarius, which is interesting. So this is a card of just going out, being yourself, being the spiritual adventurer. Then you have the Page of Cups, which is all about that beautiful, wearing your heart on your sleeve, getting back to that kind of letting your inner child come out, greeting the world with from a place of emotional vulnerability. And then you have the Queen of Wands, which I love. So the Queen of Wands is like kicking up the Knight of Wands and taking it up to your ultimate level of leveling up. The Queen of Wands is understanding really what you can do with your passion, what you can create. It's really owning your own manifestation abilities when you take action from a place of passion. The Knight of Wands is really just kind of going out there and doing what feels good, what feels fun. Queen of Wands is when you don't have to go out and search for it, you get to create it for yourself. So there is something around here when we think of the never-ending story of, where she's looking like she's like, oh, not this again. This time around, Sagittarius, it's about truly leveling up, but leveling up in a way where you are vulnerable, where you allow yourself to get back to, you allow your inner child to come out as you level up beyond just kind of doing what feels good. You're leveling up to, I'm going to create for myself and I'm going to move towards it what feels good. I'm gonna make that. I sit in the driver's seat. And I like that she's almost like paying homage. When you look at these two images together, it's almost like she's paying homage to the Knight of Wands, like really owning that Sagittarian quality of your life experience, that you are there to have fun. And sometimes, I feel like sometimes Sagittarius can get to a place where you guys can be the life of the party. You can be the one that, everybody looks to and says like, wow, you guys really, you just kind of, you have all these social friend groups and you're always doing something. But then it can get to the point where sometimes I think you feel like you can't emotionally show the vulnerability of who you are, because people want that kind of fun side to you. They want that side where you're talkative and you're interested in trying something new. But when you want to actually just sit down and like share a deep emotional wound, let's say, or you want to share like a love for something that's really personal to you, that people are like, whoa, it's a little too deep. Like, where's my fun Sagittarius? And this is saying, own who you are, own the beauty of the fun side of yourself, but also start to bring that vulnerable part of yourself out kind of unabashedly. Like just bring it out and own your magic. And if people don't understand, or a work environment doesn't understand why you want to pursue this passion, or why you want to express a need to move on to something else, or a partner in your life doesn't feel like they're honoring this emotional need of yours, well, then this is where the pattern needs to end, and you need to step up into that place of honoring your inner child while also honoring the ability to create for yourself what you want. There is something new coming in here with the Ace of Wands in this contract. A wish fulfillment and movement towards it. So there really is this opportunity this month, Sagittarius, for you to kind of really take action from a place of inspired action, if that makes sense. That there's something here around kind of, again, that reconnecting to yourself, and that could include an idea, an epiphany, some type of creation. And it's time to, yes, defend it. Yes, know that you get to create it, that there's a heart's fulfillment that you want for yourself. And I love that there's kind of this Page of Cups with this Nine of Cups, because the Page of Cups brings his cup with optimism, like kind of this innocent optimism, to the Nine of Cups, and together that creates the Ten of Cups, which is an ultimate heart fulfillment. And you just have to go for it. That's what I'm really hearing, Sagittarius. It's time to just go for it. So this can actually be a really beautiful end to the month, and I have this feeling it's going to carry over into May, where it's like you get going again. You get moving it through the energy of love, you get out there and you start having fun, you know what you want to defend, you know where you want to take action, but it's about really understanding how you can do that in the setting that you're in currently, and how you can still keep the balance. It's not about kind of, you know, the one thing about the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Wands can be a little flighty. The Knight of Wands can be somebody who maybe is not dependable. So this could be maybe where you're, you know, constantly jumping from job to job to job, or from person to person to person, or that, you know, you say you're going to do something and then a moment comes and you're like, I'm going to go out and do something else because I feel like it. This is really where you get to like get down into that place of, no, I see what I want now for myself. I'm not just going to hold a job to hold a job. I have a passion. I'm not going to just, you know, stay in a relationship just for the heck of it because I need to be with somebody. You know, it's something where like I want somebody who sees like I do, who sees life like I do, who has the same kind of, you know, dream for their existence. You know, it's a very interesting dynamic here, but you have the ability to break a cycle around some aspect that I think has been hindering you from really owning your self-worth, from seeing the value, and from getting past a block that is preventing you from really, I think, experiencing the wealth that you can create for yourself. So own your magic, Sagittarius, and get ready to go towards, have the courage to go towards what you want. And again, reflect on a time when you experienced love, and really come from that place of shining through your inner child and taking action on a passion. All right, I hope that this has been an illuminating reading for you, Sagittarius. If you'd like to book your own personal reading, you can click on the link in the description box below to visit my website. I do have a special running through the end of April. My 1 hour I Am Illuminated reading is 25% off through the end of April. Also, just so that you are aware, I will be releasing the May Illumination reading schedule soon. And the illumination readings for May will include an extended reading this month for an additional cost. So I'm just kind of testing that out for anyone who's interested. Otherwise, I hope you have a fantastic and fun and empowering rest of the month, Sagittarius, and I will see you in May. Bye.